All right, welcome folks. It's 11:02. We'll probably have some folks joining over the next few minutes, so we'll just kick off while they filter in. It's nice to see you all here today. I see we have some new faces as well as some folks that have come back to us. Wonderful. The meeting today might be a little shorter than usual. We have some exciting news to share, and we really wanted to use today's meeting to do more introductions and kind of get to know yous, and I'll explain why that's important in a little bit. So let me just share. I have a couple of slides here. Screen. You'd think by now I'd be used to sharing screens. Here we go. Can everybody see those slides okay?
That's great.
Okay, I'm gonna try and make them great. Okay, so for those of you who are new, my name is Joanne Zigmund from Old Colony Planning Council. We're the regional planning agency for the Greater Brockton and Plymouth areas. The project that we're here to talk about today is the development of a regional food plan for Plymouth County. Our partners are Plymouth County. Frank Basler is here today with us, as well as the Marion Institute. Rita Higgins is joining us from that organization today. We've also got Mary Waldron from OCPC. She is our executive director. So we're going to start with an update on the RFP. So some of you may have seen over the past sort of 6 weeks or 8 weeks or so, we had a request for proposals out via all the proper channels to get some consultants in to help us to develop the action plan itself. We have a lot of moving parts in this project. If you visit the project website, you'll find more details about all of the moving pieces. But the part that the consultants really are going to help us with is the asset mapping, who's doing what in our region, also looking at the strengths and the opportunities across the board in the food system, all the way down from actual food production, all the way up through sort of waste disposal, distribution, retailing, everything in between. The community advisory board that runs parallel to the steering committee is working with Rita as the facilitator to feed in some of that information by utilizing a national tool called the CARET tool. But the consultants are going to be doing additional analysis, and this steering committee is really going to be the folks that the new consulting group are going to be interacting the most with. So for that RFP, we received over 50 requests for materials from across the US. So there's a lot of interest in the project, which was fabulous. We ultimately had 9 proposals submitted. Those were scored by a committee of OCPC, Plymouth County, and Marion Institute staff. The 4 candidates that were in receipt of the highest score were interviewed. Those were then narrowed down to 2 consulting groups who we had final round interviews with. And then ultimately we selected one, and it was close. What was really encouraging is that there are a lot of people, not only in the New England area, but across the country, who are really starting to look at food systems in a lot of detail and how we can become more resilient, not only in times of pandemic, but also climate disruptions and supply chain issues and everything in between. So that was really encouraging to see. So we'd like to welcome our partners. We selected and contracted with Barrett Planning Group. Some of you may be familiar with Barrett. They are a very well-known and established planning consulting firm here in Massachusetts. They're actually based right in the county. And that was, I think, one of the draws to their team, is that they had that deep local and regional knowledge. So they have a lot of familiarity with all of the communities in Plymouth County. They have, 36 plus years of experience working not just with municipalities, but also nonprofits on a variety of planning related issues, housing, economic development, local zoning codes, community engagement, the whole span really of the spectrum. And so what the Barrett Group did is they teamed up with two other consultants to form what was kind of a dream team, really. So we have Lydia Sisson, who is a farmer and the co-founder of Mill City Grows. Some of you may be familiar with Mill City. They do a fantastic variety of activities, all related to urban food production and nutrition education, and a whole bunch of stuff in between. And also John LeBeau, who some of you may have known in the past as a Massachusetts Commissioner of Agriculture over at MDAR. So John is also a farmer in Shrewsbury. So together, between Judy Barrett, her staff at Barrett Planning Group, Lydia and John, we really have a great team of experts that are going to be boots on the ground, which made us more confident in some of the other, in this choice compared to some others, because quite a few of the proposals were folks that weren't even based in New England, and how present they would be in our region was kind of a question mark. And then last thing as well too is what we really liked about the Barrett proposal was that there was an emphasis on consensus building and stakeholder engagement. We're really trying to develop this plan through a co-design process. Sometimes that's a little challenging because we can't predict what happens from this month to the next month, because it all depends on what folks tell us that first month. But it also makes it really exciting, because ultimately, at the end of the day, we really want to end up with something that's going to be ported and implemented by the folks that are engaged in the process, and really reflective of what our region and our communities need right now. So with that, I thought I would pass it over to Judy, Lydia, and I can't see everybody on my screen. I'm not sure if John is here as well. But I want to pass it over to Judy to begin and introduce herself and her team, and share some thoughts with us. And then I thought I'd turn it over to the rest of you on the call today, and we'll do a little bit of a round robin. I'd really like us to share some of our hopes for this project with Judy and her team, as well as let them know a little bit more about us and the different organizations that we represent, the different interests that we share. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Judy.
So thanks, Joanne. This is exciting for all of us. I actually have another colleague from my firm on this call, Brenna Trollinger, who is going to be supporting a lot the kind of background research and analysis that this project requires. And you're correct, Lydia is here. I don't think John is, I think he was going to try to join, so he may be late or just unable to participate today. But we're very excited about this team and very excited about the project. I've known John for about 25 years. I go back to his days as a Shrewsbury Select Board member, and have always kind of wanted to collaborate with him on something. And so here we are. I think really at this point, we're just stepping into the mobilization phase of this, and we need to advance that fairly rapidly. Although there are several months to do the project, the timeline kind of creeps up on you. So we want to get our heads into kind of existing information that already is available, understand where the potential gaps are, and frankly, start getting out in the field. I think one of the things we're going to want to work out with OCPC and all of you is how much of a role you want from us in direct engagement versus supporting, your team on sort of being the face of the project. Where do we come in? Where do you come in? And that's really, I think, something that you guys have to decide. We can kind of support you in whatever way you wish. But we're just very excited about it. Lydia, do you want to add anything, or Brenna?
Just that I'm really excited to work on this project with you all. I think Judy covered pretty much everything.
Yeah, thanks. We're thrilled to be part of it, and just really excited to learn more about your community, but also, as Judy said, really understand what it is we can help you clarify in this plan, and how we can work together to build something that's really useful for your communities. So thank you, and looking forward to digging in.
Thanks, Judy.
I think probably, Joanne, part of what we're going to want to do is just schedule a call with you very soon on a bunch of administrative stuff, which is always what happens on these projects. There's this sort of stuff you have to do at the beginning, which is around the mechanics of check-ins and where's information that we need to review, and et cetera. So everybody's kind of under contract now, so I will be in touch with you about scheduling that ASAP.
Great. Awesome. That sounds cool. So I kind of thought that what we could do next is, I don't want to call it an icebreaker because everybody kind of cringes when they talk about icebreakers, but it is kind of an icebreaker. So sorry for that. But I have the slide here where I was hoping what we could do is go around the virtual room here today, and if everybody could share their name, their affiliation, if they have any. You might just be a resident of Brockton or whatever. That's cool, and you're very welcome. And also either share one thing that you hope the final food system action plan will address. So what you might think is a critical issue for us to be looking at. Or you can share a little bit more about the role that you play in the food system. So I popped up a graphic. This is one of a bajillion different ones that kind of illustrate the food system. If you kind of tell us a little bit about that instead, then I think that will be super helpful. And I really think it's important over the coming months. I think what we're really going to be relying on the steering committee to do is help us identify who's missing at the table. So I really wanted to give Barrett and the team an opportunity to hear who's here already, so that we can start, going away and kind of figuring out who can introduce us to who and who should we be talking to, and can we be inviting you to this focus group to get more information on something, that sort of thing. So I'm going to continue sharing my screen, but also see if I can get all the participants. Actually, Frank, I might ask you, I want to leave the slide up, but I can't really see all the participants properly. Do you think you could go down the list
Sure,
of folks and just invite them to do an introduction?
sure.
Thank you,
Um,
Frank.
Great. I'll start off. I'm Frank Basler from Plymouth County. I'm the county administrator here, supporting and keeping our Plymouth County commissioners in the loop. Looking forward to seeing the plan and, more importantly, implementing pieces of the plan. The county wants to really be involved in helping issues in these challenging times. So looking forward to working with you all. Why don't we go to Rita Higgins next?
Rita Higgins with the Marion Institute, working on food access and innovation and looking at different projects. I was working on our Frogfoot Farm project and Gleaning Program project, and now working on these CARET assessments and Southeastern Mass Food System Assessment in 6 counties, including Plymouth. And my was it a wish or a hope for the final food system action plan? Hopes and wishes, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how we sort of articulate the outcomes in a way that's engaging with the general public, because I think local food system education is still such a big gap. So. And I will pass it to Mary Waldron.
Thanks, Rita. Good morning. Joanne, what a great way to start this connectivity with everyone. So thank you for your work. So my name is Mary Waldron. I'm the Executive Director of Old Colony Planning Council. And one of the things, so a couple roles. I am a resident of the city of Brockton. I also serve in the role of Downtown Brockton Association. And, being in the downtown, certainly see the needs that's out there. And certainly the times that we are in with SNAP ending on Saturday and all the concerns, but right through these challenges, you find hope. And I see the circle and see those on here as being the hope. That's my, the hope is that seeing all of you coming together, it's a lot of work, but it's necessary work. And I thank all of you for being part of that. So that's mine. I am going to pass it on to Lydia.
Thanks. So my name is Lydia Sisson. I'm based in West Newbury, Massachusetts, so a little farther north. And I'm a food system consultant, but I also run a farm, Evergreen Farm. We're a Christmas tree, livestock, veggie and herb farm. So do a little bit of everything. And I would say that I think I obviously love farmers. As a farmer, I love them. But the thing that I really hope for the Food System Action Plan is how there's connectivity between a lot of these different areas. I hope that we can help address kind of some of the gaps in connectivity that will really help folks build a stronger, more resilient food system for the long term. And I think it's something that I see on a regular basis in my consulting, because I also write grants for farmers, just like how difficult sometimes information sharing can be. And so that's something I'm really excited about working on with y'all to kind of understand how to build that too. And I am gonna pass it to Nikki.
Good morning. I'm Nikki Galabois. I'm the Director of Planning and Development at South Shore Community Action Council in Plymouth. We're a nonprofit community action agency focused on fighting poverty, and we have a food distribution center in Plymouth that supports about 60 different emergency food providers on the South Shore. So we collect, store, and distribute fresh and non-perishable emergency food, specifically trying to target food distribution for seniors and for children who are at risk of hunger and food insecurity. So one of the projects I also work on here is our community needs assessment, which we do as an organization every 3 years, really to try to get a handle on what needs are in the community and what resources are available and what we can do as an organization to support and connect and collaborate to help address those needs. And so this project checks a lot of boxes and really seems like a great opportunity for us to, as an organization, but then also as you know, a supporter of so many nonprofits and folks who are really just collecting and distributing food without any budget and really very little support to find a way to really strengthen those connections and give them a more you know, cohesive system to be a part of. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for out of this. Oh, sorry. Sorry. And so now let me, why don't I pass it over to Daniela?
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Daniela Andrade. I'm with the Department of Planning and Economic Development, City of Brockton. I'm new to the group. It's my first meeting. And I'm a resident of the City of Brockton as well. And I'm responsible for so I'm the HUD program manager. So I'm the one responsible to sign agreements between all the public service and facilities. And right now, with all this difficult time to all facing, we are actually working on the new fiscal year agreements for FY 25-26, which is we are a little behind, but we have to right now work on as the new addendum, which is a new requirement from the new administration. But I think we do play a very essential role in the city where we do sign agreements with one of the food pantries here, Charity Guild, which has a great, is a great a public facility here in the city of Brockton, where we do have a lot of residents that face a lot of difficulty in getting access to food and other services. And I hope we can keep working with them and in all the other public services and facility that does play this huge and great role in the city. Thank you. I'll pass it to John Fay right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniela. Hi, everybody. I'm John Fay. I'm currently serving as the interim director of planning for the city of Brockton. We don't necessarily fit neatly into one of these categories here, but I would like to say that my hope for this as an outcome of this plan and this research is something similar to what I had witnessed out in Western Mass, more collaboration between farmers, kind of pooling some of their product, and getting value add out of that, as opposed to just selling tomatoes on the corner or what have you. You can make products out of that. Everyone can pool resources. split it back out, you know, and everyone's benefited from that. And I think that would be a great outcome that I would like to see. I know that there are baby steps that we have to get before we get there. But yeah, no, that's my bit, and I will pass it along to Laura.
Hi, good morning. My name is Laura Streese. I'm the Executive Director at the Charity Guild here in Brockton. Thank you, Old Colony Planning for inviting us to be a part of this committee. I'm looking forward to seeing and working with everyone on this project. I did want to mention, as I hear Mary say, that she is resident here in Brockton. I too am born and raised here in Brockton. Community means an awful lot to me, and there's certainly a lot of need here. We, as a food pantry, we serve the greater Brockton area. There isn't a residency requirement. We have 3 core food programs here. One, a walk-up food pantry. We have a food pantry inside of Brockton High School serving students who are experiencing homelessness and food insecurity. And we bridge the meal gap that they experience between their last free lunch on Friday and their free breakfast on Monday. And we also have a home delivery program for senior citizens in the greater Brockton area. In addition to our work as the Charity Guild, we lead the Brockton Area Hunger Network's cooperative intake program, which from what I am told is still the first of its kind in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We have 9 partners that we work with, and we've been doing so for we're going into our 5th year right now. And it's a program that ultimately is focused on better serving the Brockton community. It's a collaborative of food programs, and we work together to better understand and better serve the community. And I like to show this when I can, but we basically have created a universal intake system that we all use, where we can understand how many people we're collectively serving. We have a heat map that illustrates where people live in the city who are visiting us. But when clients visit our programs, they receive a bond card, which is very much like a CVS Care card. And on the back, there's a SKU. So it cuts down on wait times here at all of the food pantries. And it gives us a better understanding of the need here in Brockton, which prior to implementing this program, we were unable to look at that collectively. So I'm really, again, looking forward to working with everyone on this. And I do think that collaboration is key when we're thinking about the food system, because there are so many moving parts and so many people doing the work. So thank you. And I will pass it over to Howard. Did Howard speak yet?
Nope, go ahead, Howard.
Great.
Thank you. Hi, Howard Randall. I'm from Plimpton. I had 30 years as a elected appointed official in the town of Plimpton and Halifax. I'm currently affiliated with the Central Plymouth County Water Commission. I'm chair of that, and I'm also on the board of the Old Colony YMCA, which has 7 divisions throughout southeastern Mass and does a lot with food insecurity. I'm also a past president of the Wylands Trust, which holds perhaps 7,000 to 8,000 acres in its portfolio in southeastern Mass. And it's really in this area, along with providing food through the various Y programs, the barriers to increasing local food production in southeastern Mass, and the price of land is often figures very heavily in that. And I am proud to have saved probably 3,000 to 4,000 acres myself in my affiliation with the trust, and I'm hoping that we can find land that I've found there's no end of people that would like to farm. The drawbacks are usually the price of land, or the availability of land.
Thanks, Howard.
Great. Yeah, why don't we go to Liz Wiley?
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me? Great. Sorry, I am traveling from meeting to meeting. Liz Wiley, I'm the Executive Director of the Marion Institute and delighted to see all of you on the call. We run the South Coast Food Policy Council, which this work is sort of, a outreach of that, as my teammate colleague Rita alluded to. We also run Frogfoot Farm, Neighbors Feeding Neighbors, a regional gleaning program, and a farm to school program, Grow Education. And I think the thing that we're supposed to be speaking to is the hope that we have for this. I mean, I think it's just because there's so many new voices here that I'm hearing from today. I just want to give sort of a big picture of what we're doing quickly with this carrot work. We started it as part of our Food Policy Council capacity building working group and did this carrot process with our community advisory board. And thrilled to be doing it with all of you, with Plymouth County. We're in the process of doing it with Barnstable County, and planning for Dukes, Nantucket, and Norfolk. And I just say that because so many of you spoke to the need and desire to see more coordination and less silos, and that is the goal here, right? We know that we need to rebuild the hard infrastructure and supply chain that supports our farmers and our food producers. And that is the ultimate goal of the carrot in the next food system assessment that will be, synthesizing all of this carrot data into for our next food system assessment next year, to be published next year, so that we are all working off of the same playbook, so to speak. So just wanted to give that a plug and give that context in case that's helpful to any newcomers. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Liz. How about going to Liz Shea?
I wasn't unmuted. I'm Liz Shea, I'm the town planner in Abington, and currently Kevin Cogan's on the call with us too. He and I are in the process of the second phase of our MVP 2.0 project, which is to build raised and lower raised garden beds in a lower income area and a public housing area to provide the opportunity for those people to grow their own fresh food. What I would love to see out of this is how some of these other programs work that maybe we can bring back to Abington and share with them. We currently have 2 food pantries in Abington, one run out of the St. Vincent de Paul, and our senior center is running their own small food pantry out of their building as well.
Great, thanks, Liz. Kevin, anything to add?
Not too much to add. I'm the deputy town planner in Abington. I'd like to see a lot more education, nutritional education throughout the region for youth and adults alike.
Great, thank you, Kevin. How about Christine Keller? Christine, she logged in earlier on the chat. Maybe she had a bounce off. How about Jen? Is it Wernicke?
Hi there. I am Jen Wernicke, Senior Director of Strategic Initiatives for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro South. I work directly with our CEO, Derek Heim. And in my role, I really think about programmatic initiatives and partnerships, both within and outside our clubhouses. And I'm always looking for ways that our organization can collaborate and really strengthen our impact. At our clubhouses, we serve over 2,500 youth. And our clubhouses are located in Brockton, Taunton, and we have a Camp Riverside in the summertime. And essentially, we have an urban farming team, and we oversee 3 hydroponic farms that create fresh produce all year long. And each farm has 3 acres of essential produce. And we have a leafy green machine that goes out into our community across the South Shore and is essentially a free mobile market. So we visit housing communities, we have community events, And as a part of our food justice commitment, we collect data on all the individuals that we serve. And we see and track what food provisions and like what food rescue efforts that our organization does as a whole. Through our Leafy Green machine, we also have in-club monthly markets. So like our clubhouse families can go in and receive those essential items like hygiene items and food shelf stable items and produce and things of that nature. As a whole, our Boys and Girls Club throughout the calendar year provides about 150,000 meals to kids. So when we think about our summertime, we're providing breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And when we think about the school year, we are providing breakfast and lunch. Breakfast and dinner to our school year kids. We recently opened a commercial kitchen in Taunton, and so we're kind of expanding what culinary programs really look like in the community. So we're inviting, community small businesses to come and use this space. We're, inviting our partners to come and do workforce development in the space. And we're really dreaming about what culinary programming could be. And as we think about like the, opportunities to collaborate here, we're always thinking about STEM education. We're always thinking about provision to our community and, community service and leadership development. And so, if there are tangible ways that we can make a difference, I'm happy to report back to our CEO and see where we can collaborate.
Great, great. Thank you very much, Jen. How about Leonard Nelson? Leonard, can you hear us? Are you muted? Okay, we'll skip over Leonard and go to Bill Napolitano.
Hi, Frank. I'm Bill Napolitano. I'm a resilience and sustainability planner with Old Colony Planning. And the thing I love on the screen right now is the center of that circle, the partnerships and collaboration graphic. I mean, any plan is about partnerships and collaboration. That should be at the root of it. And that's what this whole group represents. And as far as what I'd like to see out of the plan, I think any good plan, the answers are presented in the number of opportunities that the plan brings to the fore. So I would love to see a plan with a lot of opportunity for us to continue working together to make the food system better and make the food system whole.
Great, thanks, Bill. And how about Shiani Silva?
Hi, my name is Siani. I'm sitting in on behalf of Marisol Torres at the BAMSI Helpline, and I'm a student intern here. I'm really just looking forward to hearing about what's being done to get food into lower income areas in and around Brockton, and how can people in the community access food. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Siani. And John, I see you were able to join us. That's great news. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Apologies to all. Last minute interruption of life here, and next thing you know, it's 11:30. Good morning, everyone. My name is John LeBeau. I know a few of the folks on this call, either from previous interviews or previous work. My background, I'm a third generation Massachusetts farmer in central Massachusetts. I started as a food farm, but when I was in it with my dad, we were a garden center nursery. Did that until 2008, until the economic meltdown really hurt discretionary sales of nursery products. And I kind of converted, luckily, my avocation into my vocation. I was a longtime selectman in my town. When I got out of the nursery business, I became town administrator in Princeton, Mass. And then for 8 years, from 2015 to 2023, I served as commissioner of the Mass Department of Agricultural Resources. So when I look at this display on the screen, I've dabbled in all of those areas. Some more than others, but I've done work in food systems planning. I was the chair of the an active chair of the Mass Food Policy Council for 8 years, and also was at MDAR when the state accepted the Massachusetts Local Food Action Plan.
Great, thank you, John. Joanne, that sums up the vast experiences and great people that we have on the call.
Yeah, thanks very much, Frank. Thanks for helping me go through that list. Christine Keller, I think she was on at some point and then popped off, but she did post in the chat. She's from Catholic Charities. They run a pantry in Brockton. They're currently seeing 900 households a month for grocery distributions. She has to jump in and out of meetings, so I don't think she'd be able to stay on the whole thing, but I know that we'll be in touch with Christine as well. So that sums up our introductions. I think going forward, as more and more people come in and join these meetings, we're probably not going to do these round robins very frequently. What we'll ask instead is that people share information in the chat so that we can actually get to business during the meetings. But I just thought at this point with Barrett Consulting and their team that it would be really helpful to kind of hear a little bit more about everybody around the table. Going forward from here, as Judy mentioned, our contracting has been finished. So OCPC, Marion and the county will sit down with Judy and her team and kind of figure out the boring but necessary, as Judy put it, administrative stuff. And then we'll kind of get to work. What we expect from here is we'll continue regularly with monthly steering committee meetings. The format will probably be, you know, Barrett giving us an update on where we're at and bringing forward any things that we might need to discuss. We are planning on doing a lot of one-to-one outreach. So you guys will all at some point be hearing from us about that as well too. So there'll be focus and interviews that over the next several months we'll be conducting. And very importantly, we'll be asking you all to help us really spread the word about a public survey that we want to do across the county to get as many folks replying to that as possible. The promotion of that will be super important to get a really good sample size. So that's kind of where we're headed. I'm going to stop sharing my screen at this point because we don't need this anymore. So for today's meeting, I thought we would just close off with an update from Rita on the Community Advisory Board meeting that met last month. And that is meeting right after this meeting, again on a monthly basis to talk about different themes, as Rita can explain. And then we just need to talk about meeting dates a little bit as well too. So let's start with Rita.
Yes, thank you. So last month in our Community Advisory Board meeting, we had about 15 Community Advisory Board members again, which is a pretty consistent number of people who are joining us and a great cross-section. We were looking at theme 2, which is community health and well-being, and we didn't quite finish the entire theme, but we made good headway. And again, we've decided that we are going to stick to our schedule for each theme. So the theme today will be, the theme we'll focus on today will be theme 3. And then any indicators that we don't get a chance to wrap up, we'll have sort of a final session to have a look at ones that we couldn't get to in the meeting. Joanne, were there any particular highlights to you? I mean, I think we've had some great participation, and we did change up our approach to note-taking, always looking at how to make the carrot process more engaging. And so Joanne is taking notes on the screen. We're moving it out of working in a spreadsheet, which we felt worked well. But again, we're always open to feedback about ways to improve the carrot process. So Joanne, if there's anything particular that you wanted to highlight.
You know, I think for those folks who are joining us fresh to this, I think the CAB is a little bit of a deeper working group format than the steering committee. What we are trying to do is take the CAB out of just monthly meetings as well too. We're going to figure that out over the next month or two. But some sort of shared spreadsheet or shared document or online tool where folks who maybe can't join when a particular theme is being discussed or you know, who have thoughts afterwards that they want to add as well, will be able to actually put those into our kind of collective collaborative document. It's a bit tricky. There's like 1,000,001 tools out there. Some of them are super expensive. Some of them are not so easy to use. So we're kind of trying to figure that out. But there's going to be definitely over the next couple months some way of being able to engage more outside of just the formal meetings on a monthly basis. I know it's a huge time commitment for everybody, even to attend an hour steering committee. So we really thank everybody for their time today on that. The theme today is which one, Rita?
Community
Remember?
self-reliance. So it's looking at the capacity of a community to be able to provide some of their own food in the event of supply chain disruptions.
Yeah. And we do post meetings from both the steering committee and the CAB, as well as recordings. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned at the start of the meeting that this meeting was being recorded. So we do post all the public meeting info on our website so that everybody can have access to that as well too, if you want to have a look. Does anybody have any questions, thoughts, concerns, expectations, anything that you want to say to our new consultants, or anything that we missed that you were hoping we'd chat about today? We do have a couple minutes before we just turn to the meeting date schedule changes.
Hi, Judy.
Cool. All right. So we, in our excitement about this project, scheduled it on a recurring, regular monthly basis, and only recently discovered that in November it's during Thanksgiving week, and then in December it's during Christmas week. So we think that it's going to be probably pretty tough for a lot of people to participate during those weeks. So what we'd like to do at the steering committee meeting, and this is partly kind of up to you as well, Judy, and your team, kind of on the spot decision. We could try and still hold one in November and just move the date, and another one in December and move the date. Or we could combine the two and just do one more steering committee for the calendar year, maybe at the beginning of December. I was kind of leaning towards that because I feel like that would give OCPC and Barrett a little more time to figure things out before I see you nodding your head. You want to do that? You're muted, but yeah, gotcha.
I'm not muted now. I agree.
Okay, cool. So what we were thinking, and I don't know if everybody has their calendars handy, but we were thinking December 17th at 11 a.m., still virtual. Does anybody see any big problems with that one? Does that look generally okay? Oh, John?
Well, one that I can't do anything about, and I won't know, I have jury duty.
Always jury duty.
So I might, I may find out the night before that I don't have jury duty, but sorry.
No, that's okay. Out of your control. Do we, what about, I'm just trying to pull up my calendar. What about the 10th? If we just December 10th instead.
At 11?
Yep. We can move the time if we need to.
I can do that.
Do that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep,
All
that
right,
works.
so let's do that. So let's do December 10 at 11 a.m. virtually. I will update the recurring invite and send you all a reminder email and all that good stuff.
Okay.
And then if anybody has any thoughts in the meantime, please reach out to us if you want to have a call to talk about something in more detail, or if you're new to this project today and you're kind of a little bit lost about what we're trying to do, please reach out to me. I'm super happy to talk to people one-to-one. We'll probably be sending you some stuff in the meantime as well too, prior to December. But always check up on our website and make sure you're signed up for the OCPC newsletter to get project updates as well. All right. Anybody have any last thoughts? No? Super. All right. Well, with that, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. Thank you to Judy and her team for being able to very last minute join us as well too. And we'll look forward to seeing you all in December. Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Right.